Many will remember an odd game released 8 years ago, one that garnered generally favorable reviews, but inexplicably became irrelevant and mostly forgotten. That game was Rage, a first-person shooter released in October of 2011. The game had fantastic combat and mechanics, and a lot of cool gameplay that involved tearing across the desert in vehicles built to survive the aftermath of the apocalypse. The problem, it seems, is that this game couldn't quite figure out what it was. Part Mad Max, part Fallout, part Borderlands, it just didn't have enough character to truly leave its mark. Fast forward to May 2018. In a now infamous incident, Walmart Canada accidentally posted images on their website of upcoming games available for pre-order. The problem is, some of these games hadn't yet been announced. This included Rage 2, the sequel to the mostly forgotten game of the previous console generation. Taking the leak refreshingly well, Bethesda fired back with an announcement trailer on May 14th and a game trailer the very next day. They've even recently announced a special box art only available at Walmart Canada that makes light of the mishap. What we've come to find since the trailers is that id Software, the company behind the original title, collaborated with Avalanche Studios to bring us what they believed the original game should have been. Not wanting to be restricted by their id Tech engine, they utilized Avalanche's Apex engine, which powered their games such as Just Cause 4 and Mad Max. id Software has a complex but well-tested relationship with the industry, having created franchises such as Wolfenstein, Doom, and Quake. With their new partnership with Avalanche, they've created a beautiful sequel that looks to build on what the original Rage did right and completely overhaul what it did wrong. Boasting a flashy new color palette with bursts of neon colors and more than enough personality to make up for its dreary older brother, Rage 2 is the edgy, punk rock teenage troublemaker here to shake up the world of post-apocalyptic shooters. Set to be released on May 14th this year and published by Bethesda Softworks, Rage 2 hit us with a flurry of sinister visuals and off-color comedy that somehow makes me cringe yet wakes up my inner child at the same time. Rage 2 is a first-person shooter set in a post-apocalyptic open world with all kinds of different enemies to take on. It'll feature some characters from the original Rage, though you will play as a new protagonist named Walker. It is set 30 years after the original, and there will be many new characters for us to meet on our journey through the wasteland. You'll wield various weapons and superpowers, and you can activate a new power-up called Overdrive, which increases your damage output and health regeneration rate. The superpowers here seem to take center stage in making this game look like a blast to play, but some of the guns in this game look absolutely insane as well, and should be a ton of fun to experiment with. Of course, vehicular combat makes its return, with all sorts of different vehicles you can pilot to traverse the world. Per the norm with open world games nowadays, crafting will be available to increase and enhance your arsenal, and you can customize your character by way of their outfit, skills, and even gender. There will also be many different factions across the world that you can befriend or antagonize, hopefully creating some elements of player choice that could affect the world in a big way, though for now we're not sure how that's going to play out. There are no plans for multiplayer, though the developers have promised a very large open world with plenty of content to keep us engaged even after the story has ended. There's going to be plenty of paid and free content to keep the game going after release, so don't worry about not having enough neon mohawks in your life. There'll always be more. When this game was first officially unveiled at E3 2018 on Bethesda's stage, what we all witnessed was unsettling to say the least. With a completely unexpected performance by singer Andrew WK, we were introduced to the quirky, somewhat infantile but completely intriguing nature of Rage 2. I was actually a fan of the original title, though, as I mentioned before, it didn't quite stick with me as a game worth mentioning. When I first saw that a sequel was on its way, I shrugged it off as a game I may purchase down the line, on sale, once my growing backlog of games is cleared. However, every time I happen across a new ad or trailer, or read an interview by one of the head honchos at id Software, I can't help but feel like this is something I need to experience. It's calling out to me, and I can't quite explain why. Is it the Mad Max on Shrooms vibe? Is it the feeling that it'll play out like Far Cry New Dawn if Far Cry New Dawn was a better, bigger game? Well, we'll find out soon enough. So that's it. Are you ready to rage with us? I sure hope so, because Rage 2 is not far off. I can't wait to see whether this game will pleasantly surprise gamers who aren't quite sure how to digest what's been offered so far. Let us know how you feel about it in the comments, because we're dying to know. Before you go, check out the links below the video for different ways to join our growing community and become one of us. We've got all sorts of fun things in store, such as a podcast, a Discord, Patreon rewards, and lots of plans for the future. A quick like and subscribe go a long way to help us bring you better content. This has been Calamity Code with Gamers Among Us, and thanks so much for watching.